All right, look, on my channel, we get straight to the content. So listen, I'm listening to the Joe Budden's podcast, right? So, I kind of covered it in another video, but this is the episode that's not on the Patreon. It's uploaded today. So I'm listening to the full dialogue of the cast and Joe Budden's talk about what's going on with Rory, his apology, how it's a non-apology, how he should have went about it, right? I don't mean no disrespect, because like I said, I love the Joe Budden's podcast. Like, that helps me with work, exercise. Like, I like it. Like, I love it. I literally love the podcast, right? They, as men, subject the audience and themselves to a lot of cowardly activity, right? So, Rory had these derogatory tweets from a minute ago, from like a couple years ago, right? And people like Ice and Joe Buttons love to say, that's how it was. That's just how it was. The times was different. And I want y'all to know, we all regular people, right? I was on Twitter. Heavy. It was a lot of people on Twitter heavy. The stuff that Joe Buttons and Ice co-signed of that's how it was. No, it wasn't. Was it like that? Yes. Was everybody doing it? No. Because a lot of us actually, even back then, in the quote-unquote heyday of Twitter, we looked at it like you on some weirdo stuff. Period. It's no justification. Like Joe Buttons and Ice and Marc Lamont Hill, who you can always tell when Marc Lamont Hill has it like he's on, like someone's on his good side, because he can give no constructive criticism or criticism at all. So I'm listening to Marc Lamont Hill talk about Rory, and I'm like, damn, it sounds like he kind of like caping for Rory. Come to find out they on the same fraternity. Marc Lamont Hill is the type of person to defend you just because he sees you at the grocery store that he shops at sometimes. Real annoying stuff, right? But like Ice and Joe Buttons, they justify everything as in the past. Oh, that's how it was. Yo, y'all was being goofballs back then. Y'all was being weirdos back then. Y'all was being nerds back then. Y'all was being dorks back then. Y'all was being disrespectful. Yo, just because do the times change? Yes. But everybody during that time didn't conduct themselves like that. And they looked at it like goofy. I was on Twitter. I thought all that extra disrespect that people was doing was weird. And I could be disrespectful. Like, you know what I'm saying? But when I could be disrespectful in real life. I carry it like that. All that extra disrespectful stuff that was on Twitter around that time is still there. But now it's just frowned upon now. But that always was wrong. Y'all was on the wrong side of history, and it aged terrible. So instead of taking accountability, like, yo, I was on some weirdo stuff back then, they say, oh, that was just the times. And then Joe Buttons was like, it'd be fun. Yo, respectfully, I got a lot of love for Joe Buttons, his talent, his career, like the podcast, everything, right? Yo, Joe Buttons, please stop justifying the past, because you was a full-fledged drug addict, bro. So when you and Ice right now, as we speak, if you a listener like me and you listen a lot, as we speak, Ice is still a coward. So he actually has been a coward his whole life. But in the quote unquote heyday of Twitter, he got to be even more cowardly because it was more acceptable and more of the norm for, I don't want to say lame dudes and be disrespectful, but a dude like a cowardly man like Ice to be popping it online. You dudes was on the wrong side of history. You was wrong. Y'all, like, we all grew up in America. If you old like me, yo, it was people out there that were super homophobic and beating up men and jumping men and harassing men that was gay. I didn't do it. If you're watching my channel, you didn't do it. So people that did that and conducted themselves that way were like, oh, that was the times. Yeah, that was the times. And you were still a lunatic and a weirdo for doing that. It's no justification, bro. The Joe Buttons podcast, and I noticed this ever since Marc Lamont Hill came to the podcast, they find justification in a lot of bullshit. No, Rory was on bullshit. Don't say that was the times of Twitter, that was Black Twitter. Yo, everybody on Black Twitter wasn't acting like that. Everybody on Twitter wasn't acting like that. I was actively on Twitter. These guys are like conducting themselves like cowards. And the more we watch this content space, and like I said, I'm a regular consumer like yo, the more we watch this content space, we find out who these people are. And these guys are head cases and they don't really got morals like we thought they had morals. I'm not even gonna lie. You see, like, if you check out some of my other videos, I acknowledge that DJ Academics is like a pioneer when it comes to this internet stuff, right? And he did a lot. But he has mad toxicity with him, mad goofball energy with him. He gonna put up a picture of Rory with his daughter because Rory went and did the sucker stuff, put in the car. So you gonna fight sucker with sucker energy? What is going on that? Like, these guys are weirdos, bro. So you basically showing Rory that you got pictures or you got people following him. Follow me. Do something to me. Because Rory is a goofball too, and he's a head case. Rory probably crash out and beat DJ Academics up. I ain't gonna lie. Aiden Ross do the celebrity boxing. He need to set up DJ Academics and Rory. And I tell y'all right now, I don't care what the betting odds are. I'm putting my money on Rory. I am. I'm not saying DJ Academics off. I'm saying Rory got a lot of anger issues. I think Rory knocked Buddy out or at least piece him up real bad. But yeah, a lot of cowardly activity when it comes to certain subjects on the Joe Buttons, and that's very on the Joe Buttons podcast. Very disappointing. Because just because that was the times, everybody wasn't doing that doofy stuff. Everybody wasn't doing wrong. A lot of us might have been the minority doing the right thing, not being just mean to people on Twitter that you never going to see and you don't know. Yeah, a lot of us might have not been the norm on Twitter, but y'all was weirdos, and y'all were on the wrong side of history. How Joe Buttons and Ice and y'all committed your how y'all conducted yourselves on Twitter was disgusting. Cause me, respectfully, I ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying, but I was out here trying clap something on Twitter. And I caught a couple of little things, you know what I'm saying? Not gonna lie to y'all. And I was on Twitter. Cause y'all of course, shout out. Now, this is where I love Joe Buttons. He an elite sniper. I'm never going to categorize myself as elite sniper. But like when it came to the Twitter, Facebook, not so much Instagram, MySpace, like activities was getting clapped. You know what I'm saying? But I wish they could have handled that situation and talked about that situation a little bit better. It's getting exhausting. And I'm not even being extra. Like, I wanted Melissa Ford off the podcast. I'm not going to lie. I'm not saying I want Marc Lamont Hill off the podcast, but it is exhausting to listen to him use a million words and say nothing. It's so exhausting. Like, listening to him talk about Rory, it's just like, my fault, y'all. I'm watching the game. The Dolphins playing the Commanders right now. But, like, it's exhausting listening to Marc Lamont Hill cape for people, bro. And then he's a black intellect, so it's just words, on words on words. It's just like, gosh, man. But yeah, I just want people, I guess me doing this video, I just want people to realize, oh, that's how it was and that's how the times was. That's a piss poor excuse. You could go to, I'm a history nerd. You could go to Nazi Germany. Yo, it was cool for people to crash out all in Nazi Germany. Guess what? There was a lot of people not crashing out. And they was on the right side of history. And them people that crashed out that right at that time and era was the norm, they was on the wrong side of history. And actually, it wasn't norm. It was just normalized. This ignorant behavior on Twitter, it wasn't normal. It was just normalized by ignorant people. Joe and Ice need to take accountability. Like, subscribe, turn your notifications on. I'm out. Yo, I appreciate y'all. Listen, I got a small YouTube community. I appreciate it because I'm just a regular guy recording, talking to y'all, drinking, smoking, lifting weights, exercising. If y'all can continue to like, subscribe, comment on the videos. I try to respond to almost every comment. You know what I'm saying? Even if you want to debate in a respectful way, I ain't trying to argue with y'all. You know what I'm saying? But like, keep liking, subscribing. Like, I think 4 videos in a row, I got over 300 views. I'm lit. Like, I don't care. I'm not getting 10 million views. The fact that I got 300 people watching me, that's multiple classrooms. Like, I feel dope. So, like, keep liking, keep subscribing, keep running up the numbers. I appreciate y'all. All right, shout out to y'all.